Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on? What's going on? Annie, David Osei, Fatumo, hey, Fatuma Somo, Chuma, Riches Waddle. First one is Deco. Deco is using a different name today. Anyway, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, guys? Good morning. How are you all doing? Today's session is going to be a, a fun, packed one with so much information. Let's give the viewers some time to join us, and then we just kickstart. Kickstart. But if you can hear me and see my screen, everything check intact. Confirm confirm right now in the comment section. Okay, great. I see some confirmations in the section, which means that we have our setup running now. I had a few technical challenges this morning trying to set it up. That's how come we didn't start exactly 4 a.m. My apologies for that. We gotta be time conscious. Anyway, once again, I don't want people to miss what I have to share today, so that they'll have us dragging, so that they'll drag us back when we are already deep into the session. So let's give them some small time to just join, and then we keep it rolling. We can already have 50 people on the live now. Share with your friends. Guys, I always forget to say this, but subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. Man, good is doing his thing. Anyway, let's have some patience. Today, I really want us to have patience with gold. I'm expecting gold to buy, no two ways about that. But I was not expecting it to continue from this level where it is currently. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But last week I taught me some lessons. I want us to just be patient today. Anyway, right. 53 viewers now. Let's go. Greetings from the side to teacher. The job you hate, but good at it. Yeah, it was. Anyway, welcome once again to today's live session. Today is our ninth episode, if my counter serves me right. It's been 9 solid streams so far with you guys. Nothing but good vibes. I want to thank you guys so much for showing up every single day. And I'm going to take it upon myself to also make sure that I find value all the time and bring to you guys. Okay? Right. Now, before we head into technicals, before we head into what I have for you guys today, let me repeat once again that I want us to be patient with gold today. I'm bullish on gold, no two ways about that. I'm looking to buy gold today. What it is doing right now is not what I was expecting. Even though there's a level here, I wanted it to, come down a bit, probably to the fib area. I should have a fib here as well. You know, come into the fib area properly, and then we continue. But as it stands, I'll consider all of this as a sensitive zone. So if this finds its way back here again and there's a reaction, that one will have to take the trade. But on this first count, I don't want to risk it. If it flies, so be it. But I would not really want us to sit in this for long. Gold has had a few adjustments lately, quite recently. Even its movement, you realize that it moves more in New York session than even London. So the bias can be right and everything can the tone can be set, okay? But you can end up sitting in the trade for long. Same thing happened to me yesterday. Yesterday, I waited for about 6 hours. I was patient to get a right setup. And even after taking a setup, I still had to wait. We had to wait for like how many? Let me see. Let me just check it quickly. Yesterday's entry was here. It shot into profit a little bit, and we did 15, 30, 45, 1 hour, 1 hour, 15, 1:30, almost 2 hours in like, I wouldn't really call it drawdown. It's just like around the same price before we had price shoot up to even take profit one. Then it came all the way back down again, tested that zone again before finally moving. And all of this things happened around what? My initial setup was around 9 o'clock anyway, 9:45. That's when I sent a signal, sorry, to the group. But it finally took off um, around 1:30, 2 p.m., which is well in New York session. So, am I really phased about what gold is doing now? A bit, to be honest, a bit, because I know gold. We can just open our eyes, we'll be talking here, the next thing we see, it flies, okay? But, once again, I want to be very careful. Unless, of course, hold on, guys. Unless, of course, we have another reason to go in, which would be probably, you see, I have a high here, and ideally, if I caught a trade in its pullback zone, which I still wanted to go down before I buy, these levels would have been like a good take profit zone already. That's 160 pips. So if this thing continues and goes all the way up, that is taking off without our entry, all we have to do is to wait for the reaction in this zone for a breakout, and then we can trade, because once again, I'm not really interested in sales. I'm not really interested in sales. I'm interested in more buys and sales. Anyway, but that's just by the way. Before we go back to technicals, let's talk about some fundamentals. Yeah. So last week there was a major spike on gold, weakness in the dollar. A lot of people were wondering what was happening in the market. Some people also knew what was happening in terms of, they knew that Jerome Powell, who is the Fed chairman, or yeah, who's the chairman of the Federal Reserve of the United States, was having or making a speech, but they didn't know exactly what he was saying and what exactly to expect, right? So there has been reactions for the market, but there are certain key indicators that, as a trader, you also need to look out for to help guide you to know the long-term direction of the dollar, because whether I like it or not, the dollar is a strong factor in the currency market or forex market as a whole, and it has effects of affects a lot of commodities, stocks, and even instruments like gold. So it's very, very key. Now, what was the Fed chairman basically saying, or what were they basically addressing over there on Friday, right? So they were talking about interest rate, right? The Fed is getting into the zone where they are getting ready to cut down interest rate. Now, why are they doing this, or why are they willing to do this? Now, inflation has been high in the US for some time now. Inflation has been high, and we all know that one of the ways that the Fed or the Federal Reserves cut down on inflation is to increase interest rate. Interest rate basically, making savings attractive and borrowing expensive. So when you save money, you get more interest. So, instead of spending your money, you rather save it. Okay. And just to curb inflation, because inflation is basically more money chasing fewer goods. So it makes price what skyrocket. So that's one of their ways. Now, the Fed or the US has been battling inflation for some time now. It went as high as 9.1% in 2022. Okay. and which is very, very high, like the highest it has been in like a decade, and very, very bad for the economy. Now they've been striving, they've been doing their thing, and it's currently about 2.7%. Their target, however, is 2%. Okay, and it's 2.7%. So current inflation rate is still higher than their target. But this is where it gets tricky. They have a risk of they have a risk on their labor market. Currently, job growth is slow in the US. They are not creating more jobs. You can see the data from NFP and the rest. Go check them out. US is struggling that side. Okay. And if they don't curb that side as well, it's going to lead to what? A recession. Currently, things are bad in that segment, but it has not developed into a full-blown recession yet. Their plan was to use interest rates hikes to lower inflation, but at the same time, that same interest rate hike that they're using is hurting the job or the labor market. How? Now, mind you, I said that interest rates is what it makes borrowing expensive and it makes saving attractive. But this same borrowing, mind you, that the US economy is run on credit. If you do your research, you see it. Most of the corporations, most of the big companies, they borrow a lot of money. Even the US himself is owing a lot of money. Okay. Now, if businesses are to pay larger returns on their borrowing, it's going to discourage them from borrowing more. And businesses need more money to what? To expand, expanding thereby creating more jobs. So you see the linkage. So now the inflation target is not where it's supposed to be yet. The target is 2.22%, but it's currently 2.7%. But at the same time, they risk having a recession in terms of what the labor market. So they need to what? Find that sweet spot or balance. So the Jerome was basically giving hints of what? That them being ready to reduce the interest or cut, yeah, reduce the interest rate in the coming months. Let's say probably September, thereabout. And you know this reaction, you know what it means. Interest rate down, you know the other side as well. It means that investors, the currency is no longer attractive because now people will have to now pull their money out and all of those things, having that negative. That's how come the dollar was selling off massively. Now, another point that they made also was that they're trying to just talk about the fact that the any decision they will make will be void of political interference, or they want to still reassure that the Federal Reserve is still an independent body because of recent political tensions between them and Trump. You know how very vocal and straightforward Trump is. Now, about that, that is even a dicey situation because Trump has been pushing for rate cuts since forever, and he has his argument. But the thing is, there's timing to these things as well. You don't. They want to, in actual sense, Trump actually wants the dollar to lose a bit of strength, but not like in a drop. Okay, he wants it to ease down a bit, simply because he believes that when the prices are when the dollar is not too strong, okay, it gives them an edge in the international market in terms because basically the US is importing or consuming more than is selling. So it's kind of giving them a trade deficit. They buy more from China and the rest. They also want to be attractive export wise. They want people to be their goods to be cheaper when the exchange rate is low. You can easily buy from the US and all of that. He wants to boost the economy through that. Trump is a business person. At the same time, you don't want it to be too low. So the Federal Reserve, they're just trying to gauge these things properly. But it looks like at the end of the day, Trump is right. They are ready to also reduce their interest rates. That's number one. Number two, he threatened to even fire Jerome at a point. Now, quite recently, I think was it yesterday or I don't know the exact date, but a governor or a chairperson in the chairman of the Federal Reserve is Jerome. The governor of the Federal Reserve, one of the board members, I think, Lisa Cooks, was fired. Trump fired her, and it was a bit of political move as well. He currently does not cannot I would say cannot fire Jerome just yet, but firing Cooks will let you know that is the Federal Reserve truly independent as they make it seem, without political interference. Now, Lisa Cooks was appointed by Biden, and Trump doesn't believe in anybody appointed from the Biden regime. He believes they are too political, they are too, he wants like a lot of business-minded people to run the economy. So basically, that is like the overview of the things that they discussed or the things that Jerome put. So we should expecting as time goes on, we should be expecting rate cuts to help boost the labor market as well, right? I hope everything is making sense. If everything is making sense and you are following and you got value from what I've shared so far, drop some one in the comment section. Put some one in the comment section. Great, great. Now, if you have that fundamental insight of where the US economy is, what they're planning to do, and what not, what does it tell you overall to even expect from the dollar alone, fundamental wise? What does it tell you to expect from the dollar? If you're following what I was saying, this should be quite easy for it's like easy stuff. Guys, it looks like our trade is really taking off. Might be a hard time today, but Vicent Empire says dollar will be strong. Let's take more answers and see. Vicent, you have to, Annie Davis say weak dollar. Benjamin also says stronger. The dollar will drop. Hey, I thought the answer would be like a directional one by now. The fundamentals are quite clear. I'm asking not based on technicals. I'm saying based on the things I've shared so far from Jerome's speech and what is happening currently in the US economy. What do you see? Where do you see them driving the dollar? Exactly. So the dollar will drop off. So we are expecting more dollar weakness coming, especially when the rate is actually being cut. It's going to be massive. This is just a hint of rate. Sorry, a hint of the rate going to be cut, and we already saw like a drop. And I'm talking about this spike here on Friday, not even this one. Look at how big this effect had on gold. It made gold bullish. Now, if you link that to even the structure of gold, gold has been bullish and we are expecting gold to keep buying for some time. It's been ranging. And usually when a market is ranging, you know what that means. When the market is ranging, it's basically waiting for a catalyst, either lot of orders. Ranging simply means that indifference. Think of a ranging market like a big doji. Let's go to the monthly time frame. You see what I'm talking about. When I say think of the monthly, think of a ranging market like a big doji. It's basically a doji on the monthly time frame. So whatever you are seeing on the 4 hour, that is like going up and down, going up and down. On the monthly time frame, you see it clearly. That is telling you that there is no clear direction as of yet, because what the bulls will push it up a bit, the bears will bring it down, then we close it as a doji. This was in May. June also closed as a doji, then July also closed as a doji. We're currently in August. August is what is looking quite promising. It looks like price is chasing it all the way back to the top, but at the same time it's still it's pretty much in that zone. Nothing has happened yet. So when you go back to even the 4 hour, we will clearly tell that price is still in that big of a range, which is good for us to have our awareness, but at the same time, we are day traders. We come to the market on a daily basis to just look for our quick pips here and there. But why is it important to know about this general scope? So that you prepare yourself. You be aware that the bullish one is coming, it's going to come again. And whenever that happens, you're not taken by surprise or by storm. You have your account ready, you have your positions ready, you know, and then we feast basically. So that is uh, that is that is what we have on the market fundamental wise. Today, in particular, we do not have any. Let me check them. Today is 26th. We do not have any USD fundamentals. Tomorrow we don't. On Thursday we have unemployment claims, and then on Friday we have copies. So, for all you know, these two might be like the main determinants, sorry, or violent movements in the market for good. But once again, we just come in, analyze, and then we trade. So that's it for fundamentals. That's it for macro perspective of things that are going on. So all in all, in summary, the U.S. economy is not really in a great state. It's in a manageable state. It's not bad, but they are still putting things in place effectively to manage things. Now they have been able to curb inflation from as high as 9.1, which was in 2022, by the way, to like currently 2.7. Their target is 2.0, but they are not there yet. But they, at the same time, their labor market is being weakened. So now they need to attack. They need to. It's a pressing issue. If they don't address the labor market issues, it's gonna develop into the full blown recession. So they need to also curb that. You understand? It's basically that. And and overall, too, Trump also wants quite of a bit of a weak dollar. How do you get all this news about the USA meeting, like Trump? That is where research comes in. You go, you use YouTube, you use Google. Okay, Powell is speaking. What is he saying? You need to go on Bloomberg. The speech usually streamed live. You watch it. Even if you don't watch it live, you have to watch the recap. Listen to the things he's saying. Search for articles that try to summarize it. If you feel like the whole thing is like too much, and sometimes yes, it can be very economically. Well, what right word can I use? But economics is like it's like a bitter sweet experience, especially if you are starting out. Okay, it can be quite difficult or cumbersome to understand, but when you get a concept too, then you can start to enjoy it. So you can look for articles that summarize what they're trying to say, and then you know how it works. You'll be reading about a thing or watching a video about what Powell is saying. He says something that you don't understand. He talks about maybe interest rates and why they need to cut the interest rates. You don't really get it. Then you use that topic to now search for a new topic. Why does the Fed want to reduce interest rates? Then they'll break that down for you. When you see something in there that you also don't understand, you have to search for that. So it's a full blown research. Is there like a channel name? There's not a direct channel name. That's why I said that you have to go on YouTube and search. But one of them, Bloomberg, has good stuff in there. Um, um, what other channel do I also watch sometimes? There's this. Is it Principles of Economics by Ray Dalio? Ray Dalio, good stuff there as well. You can go and watch a lot of there. And also, you know how the internet works. When you start searching for some things, your interest, they realize that your interest is in a certain area. The algo just starts to push. Somebody's also saying CNBC. Exactly. So you can go check that out too as well. But basically, information is scattered or littered all on the internet. Information is littered on the internet. It is now your job to just piece these things together. So to the gentleman who asks, take these few, um, take these few pointers and then just start going towards it. Al Jazeera is good, but I think Al Jazeera is like it's a correct me if I'm wrong, but Al Jazeera is like a big news channel, so they don't only talk business. They cover almost everything, including even wars, whatever it is. Yeah, in depth. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. Now they are listing them for you. Real tests, exactly. Good stuff right there. So guys, you need to just put in the work and just listen more to these things. Now, technicals. I explained a bit of what I'm looking at for today for gold, but let me just go over that quickly. Excuse me. Let me go over that quickly. I'm really learning something from you, sir. My pleasure that you're learning more. Let's learn some more. Now, gold, I said I'm bullish. No two ways about that. Yesterday, I was also bullish. That's how come yesterday, this was where price was in the morning. Okay. This was where price was in the morning. And it started buying. Just like today, it had a risk of continuing all the way up. But I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in price pulling back before I buy. So I marked this as my recent low, marking it as a support area. Price started to drop. So I even in my mentorship group, I gave them a markup for the day. I told them I was expecting price to drop into this zone before I buy. Now price dropped nicely and it started going back up. At this point, what could have happened easily could have jumped in and said that it looks like price might not come all the way down here. Let's keep it going. But once again, due to last week's experiences and all of whatnot, I decided to be a little bit extra patient with gold. So I didn't take the setup. And God being so good, or lo and behold, we started seeing the reversal. Now, reversal counts the number of candles we see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 straight 15-minute bearish candles. It's telling you that the bears are in. They're driving price down. It got to a point I was even a bit skeptical that this level, which I had marked earlier, will hold. We're looking at the pressure that price is bringing down. If it continues this way and it doesn't slow down and it gets and it breaks it, I might have to change my bias for the day, which I don't really want. I don't really like. If you understand how I trade, I don't like to trade breakouts. I like to be quite early on the move. It's safer that way. Breakouts are not bad, but from my experience, they are too stressful, especially if the breakout momentum doesn't continue and it starts to, retrace a bit. It can be very dicey. Only for me to realize that right after this 15 minutes candle, price started to slow down. So there and there, I was like, you know what? This is my initial turning point. But this right here is also a valid turning point. Now, price broke this here. So I was convinced that it's coming all the way down here. I was ready. But looking at this first rejection, no problem. At least if this continued with another bearish candle, no problem. But look at this bullish candle and look at the size of the bullish candle. This is price action here. Look at the size of this bullish candle. This is a typical setup of a bullish takeover. So quickly or there and there, I knew that this level is also not to be ignored. This is now a valid support area. Now this closing all the way here, it made the risk big, all right. It made the risk big, but I was confident in the setup because it took just one 15-minute candle to push price all the way back up from this 15, 30. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Or I can even add this one, 6 bearish candles, and it was overshadowed by just one bullish candle. Tells you that the bullish presence is very strong. So this is where I quickly jumped in. I was willing to take my risk here, put my stop loss just below the range. Luckily for me, even though the candle was big, below the range is like 40 pips. So I just added a bit to it, making like 50 pips. You guys know that my usual stop loss is 50. That's like safe for me. And then I targeted these highs for my take profits. Just here. I was targeting here for take profit. But take profit one, obviously, I think it was 3371, right? So it was around this point. This was take profit one, 3371. Okay. Now let's see what happened. First 15 minutes candle, boom. I actually thought it was going to just continue because of the bullish pressure. But we had 15 days, then we had one strong bearish candle bring price down into a little bit of drawdown. You know the vibes, already. So we had to wait for like about an extra 1 hour, 30 minutes before price eventually now hit our take profit one. It pulled back again, came into the zone, tapped in again, gave another opportunity. So those who even missed the initial entry could have taken another trade here again, but we were already in the trade, so we just had to wait, and then the price went all the way back up again. And then that was it. Honestly speaking, I was expecting some more pressure from gold yesterday, but it didn't happen. So that was okay. And I even thought during ASN session it was going to continue and fly up. And usually I don't trade ASN session. So I was a bit skeptical. But right before I went to bed, I saw that price was retracing. Okay, price was retracing. So I was like, okay, it's good. It will probably retrace into any of our zones. Then we buy today. Only for me to wake up and see that it has done the retracement. So we finished, actually went all the way down to tap into a retest level here. If you can see clearly, went all the way to tap into a retest level here, and then boom, it went all the way up. So it's done its thing. So now me coming into the market to look for an opportunity for today, what can I see? I see all of this as a major push, which I expect to continue, but I'm expecting some form of like pullback. Now, when I started analyzing the market, price was here. It was already buying, And as I said, my pullback zones are quite a lot because you can see that this place is quite skeptical. But one thing you need to know that in the market, the whole principle of buying low and selling high really applies. So if you're looking to buy and the market keeps dropping, it's good. Don't panic at all because it's just giving you a better price to buy. You understand? So I will one pull my fib. This is my swing low. This is my swing high. 50% here, reacting around a 4-hour turning point, which we can investigate later. So I was just expecting to drop a bit into this zone. I would have been in this buy. Then we started seeing the reaction, started buying, So I investigated. I realized that, okay, there's a slight retest level here, which it is possibly using. But once again, today I'm very patient. I really want to make sure I have my. So quickly, my bias has not changed, right? My bias is still intact, but I'm now looking for a better zone. Price is here. I want price, if price finds its way back down, even to this zone, because at this point now, this level is a support level. Mind you, it has been tested once. There was a reaction here, it held here. So it's valid. You cannot overwrite it. So if it comes here and there's another um, um, form of price action or confirmation, I can buy from here. If it goes deeper into my FIB, I'll buy from there. At the same time, not forgetting that it could also continue from here. I have my high here, okay? If it continues and it makes its way here, we can have a reaction for a sell, which I will not be interested in because I want to buy. So if it sells, I'll buy from the low. If it doesn't sell and it breaks out, I can just trade the breakout all the way back up here. Simple stuff. So I've already marked my zones. Now I have to wait for the price to get there to react. If it makes it there, which I'm hoping it does, then I strike. If it doesn't, what really can I do? Nothing really. Okay. Also, at the same time, this is not final. always remember that the market is a developing story. What you are seeing now in the next hour might not be the same. This, I saw somebody mention, looks like a falling wedge in there. Now, me currently, I will not even start to see it as a falling wedge just yet. But he's not far from wrong. If this thing continues, let's say it starts to go here and it goes back up and it does it again. At this point, I have no option than to also add to a part of my bias or confluences that this could be a falling wedge simply by doing this, simply by putting my stuff here, something like this. You understand? Adding more confluence to my bias. So, but as it stands right now, I wouldn't consider it a falling wedge just yet. Just yet. But he's not far from wrong. Sorry, he's not far from right. If you get what I'm saying. And once again, to also buttress on the point that whatever you're seeing now is not final. The market still evolves, it still develops. So you need to follow the market like a storyline till it aligns with what you are expecting or what you're looking for. You strike, you apply a risk management, you let the market do its thing. In a few minutes, hours, however long it decides to take, you either make your profits or you take a hit. It's a loss. If your system is good enough, by the end of the week, you should have made more wins than losses. Last week we were tested. Or let me say I was tested. I took the only good trade I took as of Wednesday. The only good trade I took was Monday's trade, which hit just TP1. I gave me like 60 pips though, which is good anyway. And I reversed. Tuesday, we took a loss right before we even came on live. On live to go on that trade, the trade was moving our direction, like 20, 30 pips, it reversed, stop loss. That was it. Wednesday morning, I see a setup, I take it within few minutes, it didn't even get to 5 minutes, wiped out. So if you saw my message in the community, I quickly wrote that I was done for the week. I'll see you guys this week. That was my initial Rick emotional reaction because I didn't understand. I was like, how? What is the market doing to me? Understand? So I shut my PC down instead of trying to look for another trade, trying to revenge trade, all of those things. I shut the PC down, went out just to clear my head. So after I was calm, I decided to put pen to paper, do the analysis. And I realized that Wednesday is still young. Now, technically, I have not broken any of my trading rules. You guys know that I take a maximum of 2 trades in a day. And that one, even it depends on the first one, how the first one goes. If the first one doesn't go well and I see another setup, what do? I take it again. Now, Monday I won. Tuesday I took a loss. I took another one. I took another loss. I was done for Tuesday. Wednesday I took only 1 trade, was a loss, and I was done. So technically, I had not broken any of my trading rules. So I had to ask myself, am I willing just to throw this week away because of these few losses, which is not out of the plan anyway? You know, sometimes you can win so much, few losses start to make you feel like you are in a mess. But the truth of the matter is I had not even over-risked on any of my accounts to say that I took like a huge hit or nothing. It was just normal losses, you understand? So I had to just say, okay, you know what, put this one aside. If tomorrow I see a good setup, I'll still take it. But let me be patient. If I don't see a setup, let me not force it. Lo and behold, Thursday, I woke up. It was a good day. Saw a nice trade. I took it, made money. Friday, I took a trade, made money. And that's how come overall in the week, I was still profitable. So believing in your system is key, especially if your system has proven over time that it has what it requires to be a profitable system, a good win rate, good risk to reward, you know, all of those good stuff in there. You need to, at a point, you need to blindly follow your system. And that's how come last week was, you know, was good for me. Other than that, but this week so far so good. Monday, yesterday we got a good trade. I shared it with you guys for free. And if you are not in the Telegram community. This is where you can just you see the comment section. I put a link in there, right? I put a link in the comment section. Just click on it, go and join the Telegram community and just wait there. That is where I send all the updates for the buys, the sales, anything you want, even educational materials, beginner sessions, free, everything is in there. Just go and join there, right? If you're getting value so much so far, and you're following what I'm saying, you understand everything I'm saying, let's drop some fire emojis in the comment section. Let's drop some fire emojis now in the comment section. Let's drop some fire emojis in the comment section now. Great, great, great. Appreciate. Now, um, yeah, it's true. If you win too much, the next loss makes you feel messed. Exactly. You sometimes you win so much, a loss starts to feel strange. Meanwhile, losses are part of the game. All right. So, also, guys, if you have not liked this video yet, this live session yet, kindly smash the like button. It's going to help the algo do well. Also, if you have not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel now. We were having a very steadfast and fast growth. I don't know what happened. It has slowed, but we are not stopping. We are still going to continue. Anyway, we are here to give value. Now, why am I saying that? The channel was around 8.9 when we started the YouTube live. It shot up to 9K, 9.4, but for some weeks now it's been slow. But I still appreciate any subscriber anyway. But let's share this channel more. Let's like the video so that the algo will help us. You know, the algo will be in our favor. Tell them 91 people watching. Guys, kindly hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Now, Fatuma Somo keeps dropping a comment in there. Let me check him out. Start $500 challenge with your community to 10K to make it interesting. There's nothing interesting about $500 challenge to 10K. Somebody just wants to bag a cool 10K. Now, I don't mind challenges. Challenges are good. No two ways about that. But when you say interesting, it's not really interesting. It's not interesting the psychological turmoil and everything in there, flipping the accounts and whatnot. But don't worry, as I always say, I do things when I figure things out and things are right. Me, I can flip accounts on my own, but I need to figure out how to now carry people along when we are going through the emotional roller coaster. You understand? Once I get those things right, don't worry, we're gonna do the challenge you're looking about. This same guy, I'm sure it's the same person who keeps saying that let's do $100 challenge, let's do $100 challenge. If you remember, there's one guy who keeps commenting on my life, let's do $100 challenge. I'm very, very sure it's the same man. He's just going to increase the stakes a bit. You understand? Anyway. What is your take on having to close a trade that has given like 60 pips and start to retrace? And because of how gold has been, that retracement most likely hit SL before flying again to smash TPs. Now, trade management, I always say this thing. Trade management is key. Don't guys, those of you, especially those of you who have been with us from day one, where I dropped all those trade management criteria. Nothing has changed though. Nothing has changed. It's still the same. Now, looking at how the market moves, you always want to bear in mind that you don't want to leave money on the table. Don't leave money on the table, especially when you go through the hassle to find a trade. Your target is 100 pips, your target is 120 pips, and the trade has hit like TP1 of like 60 pips. There is no way you should see that trade become a full loss. No way. Also, on the hindsight of things, because of how gold moves, sometimes because of how gold moves, once again, let me repeat myself. Now I feel like I'm preaching. It will spike up, come all the way back down before the final move. And we all like that final move, that 200 pips, that 300 pips when it's jetting off. But trust me, it is not easy to catch those moves. It is not as easy as it looks on a chart. It is not easy. Why? Because of exactly what you explained. So me personally, this is what I still do. Most of the times when the market is still flying, I come to post those later screenshots. Those screenshots are from that swing account, that big swing account that I'm willing to let the trade run on. It is not from my personal day-to-day, like small account that I'm trying to flip. I told you guys already that if I have a small account I'm trying to trade, TP1, close my profits. I'm gone. I'm gathering the pips here. 60 here, 50 here today, 60 tomorrow. Just gather it. I'm out. That is for small accounts. Then the big accounts where I can allow the trade to run whatever I want to do, whether I want to go back to drawdown. I don't really, there I leave it. Why? Because I also have peace of mind in the sense that I have made some money from this trade on another account. So if you have only a small account that I try to trade, I will advise that you go with the faster approach. Quick 60 pips, you close. Because you know very well that after that 50, 60 pips start to retrace, you are not comfortable seeing that all go all the way down. So you are best off closing that trade. Don't leave money on the table. You understand? It doesn't mean that when I come and announce, I'm posting my screenshot. Even though you be paying some more, take it like that. But follow your plan. Follow your plan. You understand? Put pen to paper, see what will work for you, and stick to that. Do you get it? So depending on the account size that I'm personally trading, that depends, or that tells me how I want to manage my trades or my risk. Sometimes you're lucky that one entry doesn't really pull back. It flies straight into profit. You understand? So that too is there. Okay. I hope that answers your questions, Juliana. Anyway, give us techniques of passing profem. Techniques of passing profem. Profems, if you are a trader that is very emotional, that overtrades, that doesn't follow strict risk management rules, profem is not for you. Profem is mathematics. Whether you like it or not, mathematics, it only becomes mathematics when you have a system though. So if you don't know how to trade, don't even try trading profems to begin with. No. Know how to trade. Let's say you know how to trade now, you're looking for capital. Now, the profem, they are giving you rules. If it's a 100K account that you bought, there are rules in there. Daily drawdown 5%, maximum drawdown 10%. You cannot go above it. It's not a personal account where if you go above it small, then you tell yourself that, oh, I'll make it back, so let me just adjust my stop loss. Immediately you go $1 above your threshold, your account is gone. So the risk management criteria is strict. So to pass your profem, just focus on the risk management. Focus on the data given you. Let's say you have a 100K account. 5% of 100K is what? Is it $5,000? Kindly help me, guys. Or let me just use my calculator. 5% of 100,000 is $5,000. Okay, that is your daily drawdown. So they're telling you that if you lose 5K, you are done. Your account is gone. Now, to be on the safer side, I don't even advise putting all the 5K on the line. I advise you do like some 4,950 or 4,900. You know that so that they cannot tell you that that small thing. They will be like, okay, you have no. You understand? So you divide this into two. That's for me. For somebody like me who I know that there's a possibility that I'll take two trades. Why? Because if the first one doesn't go well and I see another valid opportunity, I would like to take another one. I'll divide that daily risk into two. So if the first one goes well, I'm done. But if the first one doesn't go well, I still have another try for the day. Immediately that one also hits stop loss. What do I have to do? Pack up my tools. No matter how juicy the market is looking, I don't have capital because I have hit my daily threshold. I have to wait for the next day for it to reset. This is where it becomes tricky for some people as well. That small $200 that is left, they want to do some maths to try and use that one to flip it to make their money back. Guy, relax. The next day, take another trade again. This time around, be much more careful because you are now in drawdown. Psychologically, it's not easy. Usually, when you're in drawdown, you have to go and sleep. Sometimes you even sleep thinking about the drawdown before the next day. But take your time. I like what gold is doing so far. Gold is doing exactly what we predicted or what we established. So now we have to just wait to see how it reacts in any of the zones. If it goes deeper, the deeper the better for me actually. But if that level also shows me some strong signs of it holding, I have no choice than to put some money on the table for the day. Anyway, it's currently still 5:24 a.m. It's still very, very early in the day, very early. Very early. So let's see how the day goes. Now, another point to also look out for is risk to reward. What you are risking to what you are making. At least 1:2 is good. At least 1:2 risk to reward is good to help you pass your prop firms easily. You understand? So prop firm is basically maths, is basically discipline, risk management that they have provided for you. And one thing that I will not take away from prop firms is their risk management. You see, a lot of traders or some traders like to drag prop firms, but I believe everything has their pros and cons. And one of the good sides of prop firms is the strict risk management rules. A lot of people like to go rogue on their personal trading account, which is not bad anyway. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still your account. But when they have access to huge funds and they have to do things professionally, this same rogue behavior, they are not able to control it. If you get what I mean. Instead of you putting things in place for your personal account, having these same risk management rules, that's something you can learn from prop firms. So the way the risk management rules they give you is the same thing you can also apply in your small trading account or a big trading account. Even if you want to flip, you have to have a desired or an established amount of your capital that you want to risk per trade. These things is basic risk management that a lot of people ignore, but you need to pay attention to it. So what is this? Bro just wake up and bro just woke up at 5 a.m. and he wants 10K. Patience at next level. Yeah. So I think next level was asking if you can buy now. Patience, yeah, he's good, you told him. We have our zone marked out. So wait for it. Mr. Rick Henry from Zambia here. Apart from Forex Factory, where else do you source your fundamentals and how is your routine like? Oh, I think Henry is late, but I'll just so as I said, apart from Forex Factory does not even capture the global, the macro news most of the times. It's usually just data. So you go on YouTube, you go to Bloomberg, go to if go to Bloomberg, go to is it Reuters or yeah? Somebody also mentioned CBNC. It's good. Go on all of those things on YouTube to search. Now the search can be very, very wide and daunting. So what you have to do usually is to follow trails, follow topics. So one angle is the things that really move the market, interest rate, GDP, those things. So let's say you want to learn about those things, you type it. They start giving you videos on GDP, videos on interest rates. You see one good one, you're watching it. Whilst you're watching it, whatever the guy is teaching or explaining, there will definitely be things in there that will you find difficult understanding a bit. You jot those things down quickly. You leave. You can pause that video. You open another tab to try and understand what those things that are making difficult for you to understand this video is. You get the understanding. You come back. You see, so sometimes you start from just one thing, but before you realize you are deep in the ocean, you are finding different things and how they are linked. So that's how you learn fundamentals, especially the macro one. You know, even me, I'm still learning. I'm not done. There's a lot of things I still don't know, but at least I know up to a certain point that can help me navigate the market. But I'm still striving for more. Sometimes some of these things are there. They don't even help you to directly know when to buy or sell, but it's also good to just be aware as a trader, be aware of whatever is going on. You have to know. You understand? Um, what does it mean when they say layer running 25 pips or 25 pips from layers? What is layer? What is layer, Bernard? Um, is the problem good for a beginner? I don't think so. For a beginner, learn how to trade first. If you know how to trade, you can trade problems. But if you're a beginner, a really, really a beginner who doesn't hasn't found their edge in the market yet, problem is not advisable. Um, can Brad trades here? First time here, you're really doing a good job. We'll encourage you to keep it up. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you stick around. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like this video. Thank you for joining us today. And Davidson says currencies. Currencies. What has currencies done? I don't trade currencies. Currencies are too slow for my liking. But one of these days, we can just do a proper boot camp to see what currencies have been up to, break them down, analyze them. Maha Seifu says, when do you often set break even? I've been trading with you for a while, but I haven't seen you set break even. So kindly let us know when we should set break even, or we totally don't have to. You have to. You see, if you've not been following me for a while, if you have seen my trade breakdown analysis, sorry. And I even explained that right now, that it depends on the account. Also, if you are in my VIP, where I give the strict trading rules, it's pinned there. It's pinned. It's pinned in the VIP. Take your time and read everything. I've given you the guidelines where to set your break even and all of those things. You understand? So follow that. Follow that and gather your profits in your own way. I think layer is the positions of trades running. Oh, okay. Okay. So when it says 25 pips from layer, well, if he's talking about the pip count simply means, when the price is moving, from one point to the other, it's measured in pips. It's measured in pips. So if it's moving in your profits, that is 25 pips running in profits. Yeah, basically. And if it's moving against you too, it's moving against you. If that's what you mean. How do you take partial profits? Do you have to close your position, withdraw your cash, and re-enter? No, you do not. You do not. And as a matter of fact, taking partials is for people who have quite substantial lot sizes. What do I mean by that? You're taking a trade, you have like 0.05 lot size. The trade is in profit, TP1 smash of like 60 pips. You are seeing like it's like $6, $10. Let's just put it like approximately. They want to take partials. I don't know about you, but for me, I don't see the partials in there. If I have the edge to close that, I'm better off closing the whole $10 than trying to take partials of $10 and letting the rest run to where. So first things first, lot size must be quite substantial. Okay. Now, number two, I wish we had a trade running. I'll show you how to do this thing. But when the trade is running, when your position is running, okay, you see you have your trade, the lot size and everything. When you swipe, usually you have the close button and then you have a pencil or a pen by it. Okay, that pencil or that pen is the modify option. Or when you click on the running trade, a list of options will pop up. Close will pop up. If you're using MT5, you're going to see close all trade, close losing trade, close winning trades, etc. There is modify in there. So when you click on modify, it takes you back to the interface, this interface. When you are about to take a trade, you see this interface where you have your lot size at the top, your stop loss in there, everything in there. That is for changing your. I almost did a mistake because it's not a trade that's running. That is for changing your stop loss and break it and take profit anyway. But if you want to close partials, you still have to go to the close anyway. But don't use the shortcut, which is close all positions. No, it will close everything. Use the longer one where you swipe, you click on close position, or you go to close position. It takes you back to a place where it allows you to confirm if indeed you want to close the position. And as part of that interface, there's a place for your lot size. So you see your full or your total lot size there. Then if you don't want to close everything at, let's say it's one lot, at one standard lot there, then you go and change that one standard lot to, let's say you want to close half of it. So half of 1.00 is what? 0.50. So you change it, you clean it, you write 0.50, then you click on close. So immediately you do that, you realize that your trade will be closed, but you still have another one running at 0.5. So only 0.5 will be closed, or half of the profit will be closed. So let's say you have a total profit of $1,000 running, and you do that. You have only $500 closed, and you have another $500 still running. That's one way. Also, it's not always half. Sometimes you want to close more than half. You just do the math, and you just do that. The other way is it happens right before you even enter the trade. So let's say you're about to take a trade here for a buy. Your stop loss is here, 50 pips, okay? You do the math, you want to risk, let's say $1,000, okay? One lot is $500, so you put two lots. So two lots, 50 pips, $1,000 stop loss hit. Now, instead of going ahead to place that two lots totally as your one entry 2.00 and close it, you can now quickly take two 1.00 trades. So two one lot trades, 1.002 of them. Same price. Because mind you, the whole idea is that the risk is still the same. You are not taking a trade at a different price. No. So same price, you put a same stop loss for the two of them. That way, you have two separate trades running. So you can set one of them for TP1, the other for TP2. But at the same time, mind you, in doing this, you are not increasing your risk. You are dividing your initial risk. Somebody will say that I want to start. That's different. That stacking is different. But somebody will say I want to have two positions so that I can close partials. And what they really mean, what they want to actually do is to have two positions of the same risk, but they end up putting two positions of, like, let's say instead of putting the two lots, instead of putting one lot, they're going to put two lots. That one is a different ballgame. You are not dividing your risk. You are actually taking on extra risk. So if you are doing that too, you must be aware of what you're doing. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Bernard Texan. Which profit account size is best for an intermediate trader to start with? Hey, you guys, perfect analogies. Intermediate trader, how does which account size? Okay, I get it. Where it's coming from? It's coming from usually a place of amount in terms of, believe it or not, figures can have an effect on you when you're trading, especially if it's your first time encountering such. This is even a personal experience. At a point, I used to trade a lot of 5K, 10K accounts here and there. I was used to it. I mean, in the beginning, it was even $100, $500. The first time I had a 5K account, $5,000 account, It felt like heaven. But today, God being so good, $5,000 account relatively is like a small account. Not saying it's small. $5,000 is not small money. But if you get where I'm coming from. So sometimes too, you have to allow yourself to grow. When you are managing a huge fund, you need to psychologically be ready or be there. So I believe, or I will suggest that if you haven't managed a certain amount of funds before, you take it a bit like slow. So you can go, maybe you started with 10K prop, trade it for some time. You have to strive to grow though. At a point, go for the 25K, go for 50K, go for 100K, but let it be a process, a smooth transition. Okay. So depending on where you are and the amount you're comfortable with, start with that, but seek to grow. Seek to grow, Mr. Intermediate. Rick, how did you load your excess account with $100,000? I did not load with $100,000. It is an investor account that I'm currently managing, so I did not do that. But the means are there. When you go to Xness, the deposit limits and withdrawal limits, they are in there. They are in there. There is I think Bitcoin USDT is like has the highest and fastest, so you can use that to deposit multiple times. It's pretty much easy. Do you have $100,000 that you want to deposit? If you do, message me now and let me give you, proper guidance. Anyway, that reminds me as well, guys. If you are here and you want to trade with me in my VIP for free, this one is actually free, but there's a small catch to it though. You see the description in there? You're going to see my broker, Xness, in there. Use that link, create a trading account, fund it, verify it and fund it. Minimum $100 and above. If it is more, the better. Once you fund it, send me a DM on Telegram with your details. I'll just ask you for a few details to verify. I have to make sure that you have actually used my link. Once it's done, I'll add it to the VIP for free. Just do the signals, make some money for yourself. You understand? If you already have an Estes account and you still want to take advantage of this offer, send me a DM. I'll send you some steps to follow to change your partnership to mine. We create a new account, we fund it, add it to the VIP. Simple, no stress, nothing. Yeah, those are the two main things. So if you want to DM me to just go to the Telegram community, okay? Go to the community. See the top here? Just click on the top. I've tagged my handle in there so many times, but if you are looking for my handle, just click the top. You see the description, FOREX signals and education. The admin, that is my handle in there. Click on it. It will take you straight to my inbox or my DM. Send me a message there. Any enquiries, anything you want to know, anything you want to do. If you want partnership, send me there. If you want to join a VIP, send me there. If you want to, if you're a beginner too, complete beginner by the way, somebody who doesn't know what a pip is, all of those things, and you want a free trading material, message me. I have some for you free. It's free doesn't mean that it's not valuable though. It's packed, proper packed. After that video or those sets of videos, you should know how to know the basics of trading and then know how to even place signals. You understand? Then you go ahead to learn stuff, advanced stuff. And then talking about advanced class, our August session is kicking off this Friday, just this Friday. So you still have a few days to register if you want to be part of an advanced session. Now, what do you get? Advanced session, I take you through all the process, teach you all the nitty-gritties of how I analyze the market and how I trade gold on a daily basis. Now, it doesn't end there. You have a mentorship group where you're added after learning. And with the way the mentorship works, right? They're going to start on Friday. From Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are done. Monday, you are ready to trade. Monday, you are ready to trade, provided you follow and understand everything I said. Is that easy? Is that easy and structured for you? Monday, you're ready to trade. But you are still not left there anyway. You are added to the mentorship group where we discuss setups once in a while. We do all of those things. And every Monday, we go on live and then we trade together. We analyze the chart together. I take the trades with them. We go through all the emotional. I guide them literally. I guide them. Some people panic. Some people do all of those things. We go through the process until it gets to a point where they are now on their own. They have grown wings and they want to fly. That's the whole purpose anyway, to make you independent traders on your own. Understand? So if you're interested in that as well, it's starting on Friday. Same procedure. Message me. Let's go. Let's strike it out. We go. It's currently going for $150 only, one-time payment, and you get these things for life, one-time payment. But for the purpose of 104 of you here, if anybody here on this YouTube live, I'm not saying it, I'm not going to announce it in the group, nothing. It's just for the 104 of you here. If any of you here is interested in that, I'm willing to give you a discount. I'm willing to, instead of pay $150, pay $100, and you are in. I'm not going to repeat myself. I've said it once, and that's it. Do with this information as you please. Anyway, back to, you have any questions? Well, gold is still dancing though. Instead of gold to go down some more, look at what gold is trying to do. Anyway, the bullish candle is quite strong, but I'm still unfazed. I'm still not clear yet, so I'll still wait for some clarity. I want to wait for some clarity still. I still want to wait for some clarity. Even though at this point, this is beginning to look like no, I cannot say is this level as well, because this level has been totally breached. So if anything is this level, but even this one, it didn't make it back to this point. So let's wait, guys. Let's wait. Whatever it is, I'm quite confident that we'll eat today. We'll definitely eat. No stress. So watch out. And that's why it's important to be part of the channel. Because once we are done with the live and I get my setup later, I'll send it in there for you guys. So Rick, it almost hit my stop loss. Which stop loss? Please, the $150, can I come to the academy in Accra? No, this is online. This is actually online. It's online, it's on Zoom. I see Saito teacher incoming. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Pashchuk says I'm on a buy already. Okay. Thumbs up. Best chef, I don't really understand how you set your zones. Well, I need a session on top-down analysis. I think it's episode 6 or so. You can watch that. You get all of it in there. Also, if you want, you can join that last session. Friday, we'll do everything down from marking the zones to all the way to the nitty-gritties. Pass says, I just need 30 pips. You get your 30 pips in Jesus' name. Rick, I can't open an SNS account in the UK. Any help? Yes, SNS currently does not operate in the UK, US, I think in Europe as well. So for those of you in UK and the rest, no, you cannot use SNS, but you can use IC markets. I think that one is also good. It's okay, even though I don't like their withdrawal system. It takes too much time, but that's your next safest option. And also, if like you are from Ghana before you went to the UK, you can definitely do with your Ghanaian details, or basically and then manage it from there like that. But other than that, you cannot use SNES and you can have to use another broker. Who is mentioning Atasa here, guys? Anyway, guys, we spent an hour already here. I don't plan to take your time for long today. I've given you my fundamental bias. If you are late, kindly rewatch the live. You're going to get a lot of value in there. I can assure you or guarantee you that. Say, Rick, you know Atasa. Who doesn't know Atasa at this point? Also, I gave you my technical bias, as in what I'm expecting. The rest is for us to wait. And I don't really want us to do the waiting here. Okay. But be rest assured that immediately I get a confirmation for my trade, I'll share it with the community for you guys today too as well. So find your accounts, stay active, stay ready, turn on post notifications. You understand? So that some of you see the setups late. It's not my fault, though. It is your phone. Your phone. When you go in there, I know you are in a lot of channels, which I don't even recommend anyway, but that's you will learn as time goes on, you will learn to start to, to seek clarity. That's fine. But if you don't want to miss my signals, at least pin the channel or turn post notifications on. Let it be loud and clear so that when it drops, you hear it. Then you come and take the trade with us. Understand? So, but the discount you mentioned, where will it last for? The class is starting on Friday. Today is Wednesday. You really don't have much time. But if you can, today is fine, no problem. But for the purpose, as I said, I'm not going to announce it in the group. So for the purpose of those who are here, I want to believe that it's only you people who have heard it. So if anybody messages me about a discount, I will know that the person heard it from here. So I'll still give it to you anyways. So there's really no deadline to it. But also know that the class is starting on Friday. So do your thing, my boy. Do your thing. Do your thing. Anyway. Somebody saying, what is Atasa? Please, it's not trading related, so don't even stress it. Atasa is not a strategy. Anyway, I was signing out, right? I was saying I was going to share the setup there as well. Any form of update, I'll keep you guys posted. I'll see you guys again, same time. Somebody says, I thought it was a good strategy. You see? No way. Atasa is not a good strategy. Atasa is not a strategy at all. It is a trending audio on social media. A very funny one, to be, as a matter of fact. I'll see you guys same time next week. It's been good having you guys around. Basically, yeah. Peace out. Can I use my phone only for the advanced class? You can use it to learn, but I'll recommend that you get a laptop as soon as possible, even if you have to borrow it, because analysis is done better on a laptop. So you can join a session and learn, but please don't stay on your phone for long, right? Okay. I see that there's a lot of questions coming in. Let me just take a few and then just bounce. Let me take a few questions and just bounce. Okay, so people also say have a nice day. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Drop some last. Let's do something, guys. Drop the chef emoji in there. We are signing out. Drop the chef emoji in there. Drop it in there now. Drop the chef emoji in there. The chef emoji. I just posted mine. Drop it. Spam the comment section now. Spam it. Let's do. Drop the chef emoji in there. Nice one, guys. It's been nice having you guys in the live session. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.